What's up, everyone? Nameco here with Fantasy Smack Talk, and we're going to be talking about RG3 going to the Browns. But before we get into that, let's talk about Fantasy Football University. It's a great app by Fantasy Smack Talk. It's going to tell you how to figure out your league, figure out your team, what to do before the draft, during the league, and inevitably, when you listen to all that advice, what you do to win in the playoffs. Should you have two defenses? Are you really looking at your kicker in a dome? Those kind of things. And trades, how to actually get a trade done and what to look for. If you can't get trades done in your league, it's probably your fault, not your league's fault. But I digress. Let's talk about RG3. Is he going to have a big resurgence? Is he going to go back to the 2012 Rookie of the Year because he's now in Cleveland? I don't think that's going to be the case, and here's why. First of all, he was never that prolific of a passer in his 2012 campaign. He only threw for over 300 yards 3 times in 2012. 2013, while he didn't play every game, he only threw for over 300 yards 3 times. And this pass-happy NFL now, that just doesn't cut it. So you say, no, Nameco, it's his legs. He can run. Have you seen the guy jump? It's crazy. He's such an athlete. Well, his legs haven't been as good as they were the first 10 games of his rookie year, and here's why. First of all, defenses figured that out. Look at Colin Kaepernick. His stock has fallen as well. It took defenses a long time, but they started to figure out how exactly you're going to spy, who you're going to rush with, where you're going to attack him from, and when that started happening, that's when RG3 decided we wanted to stay in the pocket, and his accuracy just wasn't there. Sure, he has somewhat of a deep ball, but his middle lanes were where he really hurt himself. And look at the Browns. Who's he going to throw to? Best 2 targets? Josh Gordon. Sure, that's going to be some deep balls that he'll connect every now and then on. He wasn't great at the deep ball by any means. But where he really was not good was to the tight ends. That was his worst completion percentage for his entire career with the Washington Redskins. Oh, and Gary Barnidge might be the best possession offense on the Cleveland Browns. So the fact that he's not good throwing to the tight ends, Barnidge's tight end, that just doesn't play good for RG3. So I'm really concerned about him also because of the sacks. He took a lot of bad sacks in Washington. That's why they ended up having to bench him. He was throwing picks, sure, but the fact of the matter is he got sacked all the time because it takes him so long to go through every progression. So I don't see that getting any easier for the Browns. Their line's not that great. Mac's gone now, so that scares me. So while I wish you well, RG3, I don't think you're going to be too fantasy relevant. So let's go with the fantasy real quick. QB2? Not quite. Q2 quarterback leagues as a number 3, sure. I absolutely love for an upside there. I'm not taking him as my bench QB in a 1 quarterback league because I don't think he's going to make it through a whole season. So if your top guy gets hurt, there's a good chance RG3 is going to be hurt as well. So I'm looking at him as a 2 quarterback league only type of guy with minimal upside. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but let's rewatch this at the end of 2016. Nameco out with Fantasy Smack Talk.